The first time I unlocked the front door of that house, my hands were shaking, not from fear, but from pride. Fresh paint still smelled like a promise. The hardwood floors reflected the sunlight perfectly. And in that quiet moment, I truly believed I had built something that would last forever. What I didn't know was that the same walls meant to protect our love would soon witness its destruction. Before the story pulls you deeper, take a second to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment where you're watching from. These stories reach the right people because of you. My name is Marcus. I'm a contractor by trade, born and raised in Georgia, the kind of man who believes a home is more than wood and concrete. It's sacrifice, it's time, it's love made visible. When I met my wife, Rachel, she told me her biggest dream wasn't luxury or travel. She wanted a house, a real one. Not an apartment, not a rental. A place that felt safe, permanent, ours. So I worked when my body begged me to stop. I took side jobs on weekends, renovations after long days, skipped vacations, skipped rest. Every dollar went into savings, every free hour went into planning. Rachel would bring me coffee at night while I studied blueprints at the kitchen table, kiss my forehead and say, "One day, this will all be worth it." I believed her. 3 years later, the house stood exactly where we dreamed it would. Quiet neighborhood, big windows, a backyard she could turn into a garden. On move-in day, she cried. I remember her holding the keys like they were fragile. "You did this for me," she whispered. That sentence kept me going longer than it should have. Once the house was finished, something shifted. Rachel didn't need me the same way. She redecorated constantly, hosted more gatherings, spent more time on her phone. She joined a local fitness studio, new friends, new routines. I told myself this was normal, she finally had space to live. But I noticed the distance growing in the silence between us. She started staying out later, just friends, she'd say. "You know how busy you are anyway," and she wasn't wrong. I was busy, still paying off loans, still maintaining the house, still chasing the stability I thought we were building together. One evening, I came home earlier than expected. A job had been canceled last minute. As I pulled into the driveway, I noticed a car I didn't recognize parked in front of the house. My stomach tightened, but my mind searched for reasonable explanations. Maybe a friend, maybe a neighbor. I unlocked the door quietly. Laughter echoed from the living room. A man's voice, comfortable, familiar. I stood frozen in the hallway, listening to sounds that didn't belong in the home I built with my hands. Then I saw them. Rachel sat on the couch, our couch, leaning into another man, his arm casually draped around her shoulders like he belonged there, like he'd earned that space. She looked up and our eyes met. For a second, no one moved, no one spoke. The silence was so loud it hurt. "What is this?" I finally asked, my voice barely holding together. She stood up slowly, as if preparing for a conversation she'd rehearsed. "Marcus, this isn't how I wanted you to find out." The man avoided my eyes, didn't apologize, didn't introduce himself, just stood there like a guest who overstayed his welcome but wasn't ashamed of it. "You brought him here?" I asked. "Into this house?" She didn't answer directly. "I've been unhappy for a long time," she said. "I didn't know how to tell you. Unhappy. In the home I built. With the life I sacrificed for." I looked around the room, the walls I painted, the shelves I installed, the future I imagined, and realized something painful. I built the structure, but I ignored the cracks forming inside the relationship. That night, she told me everything. She said she felt lonely, that my work consumed me, that this man listened to her. I wanted to scream that everything I did was for us, that I was exhausted because I was building something meant to protect her. But none of that mattered anymore. I left the house that night, slept in my truck. The next morning, I walked back in and saw the house differently. It wasn't a dream anymore. It was evidence. We separated quietly. No screaming, no dramatic scenes, Just paperwork and empty rooms. She stayed for a while. I moved into a small rental nearby. Every time I passed that house, my chest tightened. Months later, I made the hardest decision of my life. I sold it. People asked why. They said, "It's your dream home." But they didn't understand. The house was built on a version of love that didn't survive reality. The day I handed over the keys to the new owners, I felt lighter than I had in years. I wasn't losing something. I was reclaiming myself. Rachel tried to reach out months later. Said things didn't work out. Said she missed what we had. I listened politely. Then I told her the truth. "That house taught me something," I said. "I can build anything, but I won't build for someone who doesn't respect the foundation." Today, I'm still a builder, but now I build differently. I build boundaries. I build self-worth. I build a life where love isn't proven by exhaustion, but by presence and honesty. If you're watching this and you're giving everything to build a future for someone else, pause and ask yourself, are they building with you, or are they just waiting to move in once it's finished? Sometimes the strongest thing you can do isn't holding on. It's walking away from what you built so you can finally build yourself.